Thank you for staying with us. We begin with the ruling of the 2023 Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, which was delivered during the week. The five-man panel dismissed the petitions filed by candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and the Labour Party, Peter Obi, for failing to prove claims of irregularities against President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the February 25th elections. All five members unanimously affirmed Bola Tinubu as the validly elected president of Nigeria. Atiku and Obi have rejected the judgment and vowed to challenge it at the Supreme Court. Now, joining me to discuss this is Kalijai Paul, a member representing Ifelodunwa Jeremy Federal Constituency, with me in the studio. Good to have you on the program.
Yeah, good evening, and it's nice being with you.
Welcome. And of course, joining us via Zoom, of course, is a lawyer, and his name is Olayinka Ola Daniels. And hopefully I'll be getting the feeds that he's on, but we're still trying to connect with him. But in the meanwhile, let's begin with Kalijai right here. Kalijai, we have 21 days for them to refile and go to the Supreme Court, apparently. Now, with the same evidence and what the judges looked at during the Election Petition Tribunal, now the court noted some paragraphs of the petition that were deemed vague and generic. Now, what outcome was your opposition expecting from this whole scenario?
Yes, let me explain to Nigerians and the entire world that why do people go to tribunal? We must establish that parameter very clearly. And then, why do people go to tribunal? They go to tribunal to have some are genuine, seekers who are seeking equity, fair play, justice. That's the first point of call for why people go to tribunal. Secondly, some people go to tribunal for the purpose of attention seeking. They just want to seek attention of the entire world, and then their names are mentioned. They have all the resources in the whole world to play with and say, okay, let's play on. Some go to tribunal for the purpose of mesmerization. They want to mesmerize the opposition. You need to give them trouble. Even when you are in power, they don't want you to have peace of mind to run government. They want to hold you down so that the government will not be able to perform. So it's also a clog for them to hold those in power against performance so that they can have a better opportunity next time. So there are so many reasons why people go to tribunal. And secondly, you also want to look at why are tribunals established. Tribunals are established for the purpose of ensuring that we have peace in the nation. If tribunals do not exist, then people say, if you don't like the police, try the hooligans and see the difference. So if the tribunals do not exist, people will not have a place to seek redress, and then we can have peace in the nation. They will have resulted to anarchy, pandemonium, protests, all kinds of things that are not democratic in nature. So existence of tribunal are germane and very essential to our democracy. Right. Then also, tribunals are also established for the purpose of bridging the gap between the time when you are grieved and the time when your grievances are coming down. Sometimes some people go to tribunals and say, look, after a while, say, look, let there be peace. So it's like two people trying to quarrel. By the time they say, don't fight, everybody is dissipating energy. But if you allow them to have an end-on collision, when you hit this one and feel that the hand is stronger, it will have an adjustment. So many reasons why they go to court. So what do the opposition want? You can premise it from those dimensions that are, that are put before Nigerians to say why people go to. So you can pin them. Now you need to pin all those who are going to tribunals, whether by appeal or whatever, and situate them. Some want to keep their supporters on hold. They want to perpetually hold on to their supporters to say, don't worry, we are still there. Oh, don't worry, the next few months we shall be in power. So some are even some are profiting from going to tribunals. Some have sponsors. They have people who are just money people, just go ahead. So when they stop going to tribunal, they will not get finances from their sponsors. So, and unfortunately, we have come in this climb of the nation to believe that Yeah, going to a tribunal, some people have myopic impression. Oh, the man I'm supporting won the election. And so they have that belief. Whether you give judgment, as long as it does not favor them, that judgment cannot be right.
So from what you have expressed so far, it's clear that the petition was not weighty enough to even be in court in the first place. Is that what you're saying?
I've asked you to fill in the gap. You see, as a politician, as an academic, as a journalist, and as an analyst, we don't just jump to conclusion. We don't conclude for people. We allow people to conclude on their own. So if you look at the analysis I've given, you can situate whether they have genuine cases or not. But I must confess, some may have genuine cases. But what is backing you is what faces me. And then you cannot be a judge in your own court. The way you see things is not the way the legal eye looks at things, not by not by emotions, not by sentiments, not by belief or whatever, but by what is right and what is factual. So there is a difference between what is right and what is factual, and what is good or what is bad. So all of these come to play. And by way of perception, perception can be stronger than reality. Some people are, they perceive, their perception is very strong as to say, I'm a supporter of team A and supporter of team B. When the teams play, whether it's Eyimba, I don't want to go to international parlance, whether it's Eyimba or our local team, once you are a supporter of A or B, you always want A or B, the one you are supporting, to win. And no matter how bad they are, you still want to tolerate them and see something good of them. But when the opposition is there, you don't want to say anything good. So those are the kind of characters that are situated in our democracy, in our polity.
Now, with what you have just said, it's obvious that they do not agree with what has happened so far, and that is why they are heading to the Supreme Court. Now, do you think they have a chance going to the Supreme Court? Because obviously they feel, look, we've been cheated out of this justice. Let's go to the Supreme Court and finally make our case. Do you think they have a case to fight when they get there?
I honestly don't think they have. And I'll tell you why. I may be wrong. I'm not a judge, and I'm not God. But I'll tell you some of the reasons why I think they are not right. They are not likely to get something different. One, that judgment was unanimous. There was no dissenting voice among the 5 judges. And look at the pattern, a judgment that was used for almost about 12 hours. And it's also good that the judgment was beamed live. And for those who have ears, let them hear. That's the essence of beaming it live. And you can see that by paragraph, we explained what A filed, what B filed, what C filed, what is the opinion, what is their opinion, and then what does the law say, and what does the judges say. Those are things, and they were very analytical about issues, and it's not as if you said this and was not reported at the tribunal judgment. So the judgment was very meticulous, it was very painstaking, it was quite interesting for us to see that our judicial system has grown in leaps and bounds. We have moved away from, when I had my own case in the tribunal and I was waiting for the judgment, and the first 30 minutes I thought it was going to be over, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, for almost 4 hours. That's a judgment that concerns the Federal House of Representatives. It was delivered in 4 hours. Our judges have moved up. We just need to encourage them so that we don't go on a monologue kind of justice, so that we can equip our judicial system in terms of modern, facilities for them to have speed, accuracy in terms of their judgment. But I say that I don't see anything quite hopeful in. But then it's an exercise to some people, and I tell you, some take joy in doing it. They have intrinsic satisfaction. Oh, Yes, when A happened to A, he went to Supreme Court. And then sometimes also the lawyers will say, I'm not a lawyer, who say that it's better to ventilate it to the Supreme Court. That it's better for us to test our judicial system and also have more purposeful opinions, so that let's seek another opinion. So fine, is their right, fundamental right, to go to court.